If there's ever a time to stop overthinking and to start moving, it is right now, okay? This episode is an injection of motivation and power for you. I hope that even though it's a short listen, you feel super fired up and ignited by your passions, what lights you up, your inner calling. This whole episode is based on some of the themes of Chinese astrology. Now listen, if that resonates or it doesn't matter. Listen to this episode anyway. I can bet that this is going to be super relevant to you and what's going on in your life, because this is just a boost that I think every person needs to hear, okay? So welcome to the Happy Hippie podcast. If you're new here, my name's Amanda. I'm the host. This show is all about bridging happiness, hence the name, and wellness. We talk a lot about everything from nutrition to fitness, all the way down to mindset and like neuroscience and how we can turn our lives into something that we actually enjoy every day. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to tap into the theme of the fire horse. If you're listening to this when it comes out, it doesn't really matter. This is going to be relevant for the next year pretty much. And it's always going to be relevant because these themes are just themes that humans go through. So at any time, this can be a really great episode for you to like tap in and like level up when you hear what we're going to chat about. Today is February 17th, and it's the year of the fire horse. It's the Chinese New Year. It's a new moon. I'll give like a 30-second breakdown and a little bit about what that even means and why there's an animal associated with the year and the symbolism for it. But like I said, it just goes along with like themes we face in humanity and that we've been facing for centuries and how it can help you in your own personal journey. So it's really cool. It doesn't matter if you're listening to it on the day that this comes out, which is on February 17th, 2026. All the way up till next February, the theme is going to exist and it could exist forever. So the moon today is in a new moon, which also has a little bit of another element we can talk about too. I'll talk about that towards the end, but I just want to get into like, what do I mean by fire horse? Have you been hearing this from other people? Like, what are you yapping about? So the energy that's associated with the fire horse in this coming year, the theme is big and bold. We're not sitting around. We're not waiting for perfect timing. We're not waiting for external validation. The fire horse is all about momentum. Last year was all about releasing and shedding. So maybe you felt that happened in your life. There was things that you had to get rid of, or maybe it didn't happen, but you thought of it. Like you're in your head, you realized, hey, like this isn't really serving me too well. Like this person, this place, this whatever. So you're thinking about kind of moving on from that. So we're flowing with that momentum of this new year. It's like a fresh year. It's all about like backing yourself up. Like act on the thing that you keep saying you want to do, and one day, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. Like we're going to get into that this year. That's actually what's going to happen. The idea that horses are very powerful, but they live in harmony with one another is like the theme here. It's a bit of balance. Like they are powerful beings, but you can still like be chill and have like your downtime in a sense. Horses don't like apologize for taking up space, mostly because they're horses and they don't speak. But regardless, that's part of the theme. Like, don't apologize for who you are. Like, take up space. It's all about a year of abundance, expansion, prosperity. So let's talk about how to get there, okay? So like I said, 30 seconds. Let me break down basically what the elements of not Chinese medicine. I could do that too, though. I'm also into Chinese medicine, but Chinese astrology and what fire horse even means. So the way that, again, I'm just really dumbing this down. So if you want to deep dive into it another way, definitely look into it. It's super interesting. But China's astrology works on like a 12-year cycle. They have each year represented by a different animal. And just like in like Western astrology, the animals are associated with different personality traits, different capabilities that kind of have influence on our lives. Just like we have like the crab in Cancer or like a lion in Leo. So there's only 12 of them. So I wrote them down so I didn't forget, because I probably would not be able to remember this, but they are represented by a different animal each year. So it goes in order and then it repeats itself. So every 12 years it repeats itself. It's the same 12 animals. It just goes over and over and over. So the first one is rat. Yay, year of the rat. Ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, ram, monkey, rooster, dog, pig, and then it repeats. That would have been kind of fun if I like put a beat in the background of that. I feel like it was almost kind of like rhythmic, but each year we have these animals, but on top of that, there's an element added onto it. So that's why I keep saying fire horse. Each year has an animal and an element, and there's 5 elements in like Chinese astrology. Also in Chinese medicine, it's very similar. So wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So you have like, for example, you can kind of mix and match with them, like putting an outfit together. You have like, you know, the earth dragon or like the fire horse. You kind of add to it. So this year, it's the horse fueled by the element of fire. And the horse is a cool, like, I'm actually really excited to be like alive during this and being able to like be in my 20s during this time and be conscious of it, because I really love the theme. The horse is symbolic of movement, of moving forward, freedom, independence, momentum. You're not standing still for long. A horse doesn't stand still for long. It trusts its body. It moves when it feels called. And fire horse energy, basically overall, like I said, big and bold, it means decide, commit, begin. And then you sprinkle on the element of fire on top of those horse themes. Fire is passion, boldness, being really courageous and like intense and not being like apologetic for that. It's about transformation. Fire doesn't negotiate or anything. It's there. It's present. It's not telling you, hey, can I do this? It just does it, you know? So when you combine them, you get this really confident, like forward moving energy. The horse moves, it gallops, it doesn't wait. Like that's kind of a theme that you're going to see a lot. And it feels really aligned. Like if you just step back, it kind of does feel true to like what's happening collectively and also individually with each of us. But notice around the world and what's happening, like there's big changes, like old ways are kind of falling off. There's a new rise of energy, of voice, of passion. So this is a year for like backing yourself up, backing your dreams, believing in yourself and the leaps that you want to take. Because think about how many times that you've been like, oh, one day I would really like to do this. You just keep thinking about starting something, but you actually don't do it. The theme here is about taking little steps. And we've talked about that in plenty of episodes recently and in the past, like how to get out of a funk. Because I know I can sit here and be like, girl, follow your dreams and just like talk about nothing for half an hour. But there are ways that we can help kind of scientifically trick our brain and get our brain moving out of a funk, how to take action on your dreams. So I do have a lot of episodes that could be useful on it. And especially the last episode, we discussed values and we went on about how to go within yourself and finding the values that you have and how knowing your values can light up your path and show you like where you want to take steps forward. Because maybe you don't know where you want to go. You have your own like instincts, you feel things, you know what you like, you know you don't like, but maybe you don't know where you want to go, and that's okay. Because again, most likely inside of you, you know you have that feeling, you know what you want more of, you know what you want less of. Our emotions are a guidance system. They're like a compass. And I always tell people, I'm like, be grateful of all of your emotions, like what you consider good and bad emotions, because objectively, they really show you what's important to you. They highlight like what's important, what's not important, where you feel aligned, what you feel prioritized in. So next time you can do this or just reflect on it. Notice what you get excited about. Notice what you get defensive about. It's a great tool stepping back and seeing how you react to see like what things are really important to you and what things may not be that important to you. This is all about listening to your gut, your heart, ignoring all the noise around you so that you can come to your own conclusions and not be influenced by other people. That's where we can kind of begin with all of this. You know, we can carve time out of our day to tune into your own frequency. Make that a goal of yours. Just, we can get caught up in things that are happening, whether it be on your phone a lot or just being out in the world when there's a million things going on. So take the time to like almost tune into your own frequency, like your little radio station. Notice your own thoughts, notice your desires. You can set aside some mindfulness practices if you take time in the morning to meditate or in the evening to reflect. Even just going on a 10-minute walk in between your work sessions just to let your mind wander. We want to start learning how to trust our intuition over all of the noise around us. That's going to be our like the first way I'd say to like take action on these dreams. Like notice yourself and then notice where you're playing small. Notice where you're not stepping outside of the box because other people don't do that. You know, we have to think outside the box instead of trying to fit inside of it. This is your life. We can get really creative with it. We can get creative how we go about things and where you can go. So it's almost about embracing your uniqueness instead of telling people and over explaining or trying to break down all of your ideas to people. People may not understand it, you know. The more you spend time with yourself and the little efforts that you put into nurturing these ideas, the easier it really becomes to trust yourself, to hear your heart, hear your own intuition, notice what you want and lessen that, like, I keep saying noise, but lessen what you hear around you. Like, it's cool to hear things from other people, and sometimes we need a period of our own reflection to kind of digest and let things integrate, but you're always going to know deep inside. No matter what everyone else is doing or saying is trendy or whatever, you're going to know when something feels good, when it doesn't feel good, when you have those dreams planted inside of you and the things that you're doing are kind of leading you there or not leading you there. You're always just going to know. So starting to listen to that, because it's with you all the time. It's like yapping inside of you. So starting to take some time out of your day, maybe out of your week, a few times of your week, to just listen to what you want and start to take some maybe steps in that direction. And some thoughts that I've really been meditating on lately that really go with this are, where are you over explaining your truth? Like, where do you find yourself trying to make up a story or just like rambling on your words, trying to explain this to other people? Where are you shrinking your ideas so that they're just more digestible to other people? I do it in so many different ways. Like, I don't know. I can sit and talk about it forever, but whenever I try to like pitch some of my business ideas, like people don't get it, and it's okay. Like, not everyone's going to get things, and I need to stop pivoting based on me talking to a few different people. So that's like an example that I've taken those questions into my life, but those are two really good questions that you can journal on, that you can meditate on, just lay down with the idea, set a timer for 5 minutes and see what comes up. Yeah, it's like when you talk to others, it could be when you talk to yourself. Like, how do you over explain and justify things to yourself that may not be true? Like, you might be doing that to your own self. Stop trying to make it make sense to other people or make it make sense to you. It doesn't always have to make sense. And with that being said, the things that you daydream about, that you imagine for yourself, you literally deserve them, and you can make these things happen, okay? So this year is all about deciding and committing to them. That can sound really exciting, but also a little freaky, and that's kind of the point. You have both sides of that, like the excitement, and then like the natural human brain is gonna have a little bit of a inhibition when it comes to fear. Like when there's change, it's gonna create a little bit of fear in your head. You have to learn to proceed without certainty. Find comfort in discomfort. That is where things happen. So let's experiment with that whole thing this year. A little bit of growth, a little bit of uncomfortableness. It will take you a long way, okay? I won't leave you hanging with that. I want to go a little bit more into uncertainty and how to work through that. But I want to also just talk about the theme a bit more, because I can talk about this topic forever. But let's circle back to the idea of the fire horse. Let's find a little bit of balance, because I've been telling you for like a few minutes here. I'm like, go, 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 do this, try that. I'm not trying to romanticize pushing yourself to like the brink of burnout all the time. And it's not about like for 12 months pushing yourself until next year and then you can rest. Like, that's not what I'm saying. So let's talk about a way that we can kind of avoid some of the traps that this theme might present to us. How to do it in a nice, sustainable way overall, basically. So try to avoid burning out to prove something. We're aiming for more of a really like sustainable momentum. Momentum is like the theme, like a sustainable way that you can do these things. Take little steps when you can. Maybe it means getting more organized so that you can plan out when to take a few steps and when to chill out, if that's more of your personality. So it's about doing something from a state of flow. We're not doing it from force, okay? Another thing we're kind of avoiding when I talk about momentum is confusing speed with progress or speed with alignment. So life is about movement with like purpose. It's not about pressure. You don't want this pressure weighing on you now that you've decided, hey, okay, I like this thing. I want to take a little bit of action on it, bring more of it into my life. And then you give yourself this immense pressure. Then it becomes something that's not enjoyable. I associate it with like school. Like whenever I try to do something, I think I have the same feelings that I had as like a kid. Like I make something, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do my homework. And it feels like homework, basically. So we want to avoid that. We don't want to be pushing ourselves with like a immense pressure to do things. It's just about experimenting with like sprinkling these things into our lives. Another way that we can kind of, I guess, add this like speed element into this and mess it all up is thinking about at the rate that things manifest, the rate that things present themselves and show up as progress, as like an indicator that things are happening. We can get very discouraged when we're doing something and we don't see quote unquote physical progress of whatever it is. Like we don't see the money coming in, we don't see our personality, like our mind changing, or we're not getting stronger in the gym. We get so discouraged easily when things are not coming along in the speed that we think they should come along. So it's not getting caught up in the pressure of things should be happening. It's just doing these things and letting life just take over. It's kind of back to that uncertainty theme, just letting things flow and happen. And this kind of leads me into our next point, something that we want to not embody about this theme, or something that you may, I don't even know like what to call this section, like what to avoid or what to not confuse the theme with. But it's chasing a future so hard that you lose the beauty of the present, like what's happening around you. Try not to get caught up in your visions, the timelines, like I was just saying, all that physical proof manifesting, and your focus is all there, that you're moving away from enjoying what's happening right now. You know, Your mindfulness practices can really help you with that. They can help ground you, because it's okay. We get caught up in things, and you can go an entire day and get caught up in thinking about the future. But as long as you like pull yourself back out in the evening and you take a few minutes to be like, hey, okay, we're here. I'm going to do something I enjoy, or I'm going to do something to calm down a bit and just be here. Then that's progress. That's like you doing something good. You're just coming back to it. Life is all about that. Sometimes we get distracted. Sometimes things happen, and you can always come back. Do things that bring you pure joy. Do some mindfulness practices. Move your body. Do something to just bring you back into alignment. And then the last thing that we might naturally confuse for this theme is procrastinating because you're waiting for certainty. So this is where I wanted to dive more into that idea of like the unknown and becoming a little bit more familiar and okay with that. The big theme is like, we're not always going to have certainty all the time. Part of this year's lesson is about learning to proceed without it, proceed without certainty, learn how to find a bit of comfort in discomfort, to take the next step like that's ahead of you without seeing that entire staircase like mapped out. And that's freaky, and I get it, but things will unfold when you take steps. If you try to sit and plan everything out and try to plan every pitfall and everything, you're never actually going to take the action. And life happens in the action. It doesn't happen in the planning. Planning is great at times, but we need to learn to be okay with not knowing what's next. It goes against our human nature. I've talked about it before. Our brain doesn't like change. It doesn't like fear. So it tries to create emotions that are going to make you not take those steps because it wants to stay safe. And that's like, okay. So we're just kind of working against our inner animalistic wiring a lot of the times, but it's okay to do these things. Now I want to tie in the new moon a little bit, and then we'll jump right back into like, I feel like I keep edging you on with this, but I'm like, yeah, we're going to talk about how to like move through that little bit of discomfort, like how to be a little bit more comfortable with discomfort. But the new moon theme kind of really ties into this. So I mentioned that on 2/17, it's also a new moon, and the energy kind of lasts the few days after or before, but it ties into the year. So I just want to mention it if you're listening, like kind of when this episode comes out. New moons are all about planting seeds, new beginnings. The sky is dark. We're getting ready for a new phase of a moon cycle where the moon is going to become the full moon. So we have some nice, quiet emptiness, and we can plant seeds. We have some space here. We created space. We let go of things with the full moon. You don't see the full picture yet, right? It's pitch dark in the sky when there's a new moon, but you can choose your intention anyway. That's kind of like the theme of a new moon. You set intentions, and then you just like, you accept it. Like you can't see it, it's okay, but you set your intention and you kind of have that inner faith. Things are going to be cool. This new moon is in Aquarius. Aquarius is all about innovation, community, freedom, releasing roles that you've outgrown. Aquarius is about a lot of things, but those are the themes I think kind of tie into this. So if we put it together in like simple terms, Aquarius is about the future. It's about kind of planning the future, innovating, creating, and then the fire horse is that push, that momentum that goes through it. So you kind of set an intention and then you find the momentum to go with it. That's what that whole energy is given right now. And I saw somebody comment online about this, about a theme for this period is having a vision and then ignition, like going towards it. So you create your vision and then you use this year to help you push towards it. Again, like I said, finding ways to kind of relax and chill and do this sustainably, but we want to find a little bit of that in ignition. There's nothing wrong with that, Time is asking you to be brave. It's asking you to make a choice. Even if it's a super small nod in the direction of something that you want, when you make clear choices or clear choice, depending what you're doing, you are showing up as that, okay? You're showing up as your choice. We don't show up in the world as our ideas or as our desires, We show up in the physical plane as we do and like take steps. So when you're making a choice, you're actually refining who you are, You're creating that vision and that goal little by little, like building blocks in this world. We are our actions at the end of the day, So an example to kind of tap into this a bit more is imagine dating somebody who's always like, oh, I wanted to buy you this, or, oh, I wanted to say this back then, but I didn't. I was thinking of taking you here, but I didn't. Or, oh, I thought of doing this favor for you. They didn't do it. I saw this gift, like I thought it would be cool for you. You would be super unhappy because none of those things are happening. It doesn't matter if the person had the intention to do those things or like wanted to. They didn't do it at the end of the day. Like those things did not exist with that person in this lifetime. They never did those things. They may have thought about it or daydreamed about it, but they never did it. So like at the end of the day, that person is not those ideas, okay? Those things do not exist, and that person technically doesn't exist within the context of those ideas. But if they do these things, or they even do something small, like if they have the intention and they can't do the full thing, but they do a small thing, like they get you a small gift or give you a tiny comment, then they are bringing those ideas to life, you know? It is better to take action and then correct it later or build on it than not take any action at all. And guess what? I hated hearing this the first time. I think I still kind of hate hearing it because I'm a person that's really full of ideas and also full of uncreated projects. It's so true though. It's not a way to look at this to make yourself feel guilty or shameful, but it's like a wake-up call. Like, I have all these ideas, and I spent a long time before I started dwelling on this topic a while ago that I was like really associating myself with my ideas, which I am. Like, those things, they come from me, like they're things I enjoy and things I want to do, but I would kind of lean on my ideas more than taking any action on them, and I'm like not putting them out in the world, and they're just kind of like wasting away, you know? So it's a cool way to motivate yourself when you think like this. You're like, I can take these steps. I want to put this out in the world because I want this to be who I am. I want to like solidify it as who I am. And that's kind of the whole theme of this. Be brave, start making choices, and then things will align. You will finally trust yourself and be in that unfolding of the process. You know, you may not know the next steps, but you're going to be there. Like, you're going to be on that path, and you create confidence as you walk that path. You're creating it as you go, and that in itself builds confidence and pushes away a little bit of that uncertainty as you take those steps. Okay, stop waiting. It's your time to like make these choices. Stop waiting for external validation. Stop waiting for someone to tell you, hey, you're ready, you can do this. You're ready when you decide that you're ready. I feel so hyped up recording this episode already. I really hope that you feel it too. I got like 2 or 3 more little points I think I got to get through. There is another thing. Earlier I gave you like 2 points I was meditating on. There's another idea that I've also been like sitting with that really ties into this theme. It can also help make you feel a little bit better with like when it comes to self-guilt, or if you find it a little bit hard to pivot and make changes. As long as you're alive, you can begin again and again and again and again. You can keep taking steps and making choices, okay? Everything you do is a learning experience. Choices, they give you feedback when you decide to make them, and then feedback helps you redefine. Everything at the end of the day is a win when the goal is just experience, and that is all life is. It's just an experience that you yourself get to shape, okay? There's no expiration date on this. Like, there's not a certain time that you have to get to become who you want to be. There's no deadline into like stepping into your true self. There's no right or wrong time. You're not early in life or too late in life. Like, you can always redefine at any time. Every day you wake up is a new start. You can redefine. You can begin over and over. Momentum, having that momentum, it doesn't require you being perfect and like procrastinating. It just requires you to be willing and try. I have 3 final journaling prompts that you can take with you. You can think about them in the shower, on a walk, when you meditate. That, yeah, they just kind of go with these themes. Come back to them during the year. We talked about one earlier, but where am I over-explaining my truth? Just think about that. See in those areas where you're trying too hard to make it sound better, or you're getting really wordy with it. Where are you trying to over-explain what you just want at the end of the day? Number 2, what wants to begin? Like, what do you want to try? Even if it's going to be imperfect, even if you're not going to be great at it at the first shot, like, what is something you just want to begin in this life? Something you've given thought to maybe once or twice even. And then the last one is kind of the coolest one, I think. Who do I become when I stop waiting? Like, when you stop waiting and you take those actions, like, what's going to happen? Who are you actually going to become? And maybe I'm lying, because actually there's one more, and this one might be cooler than that one. But the last one is, where in my life am I being invited to just move forward? What's an area that you just feel it's time for you to take steps in, to just move, change it up a little bit? Where are you being invited to move forward? And I feel like that kind of ties this all together. It's about it being an invitation. This whole idea, this whole Chinese astrology, themes, whatever it is for you, it's an invitation. It's an invitation to trust the momentum of life, the way it naturally flows. Like, if it's a river and you're just getting ready to like step your foot in, just trusting that it's going to take you to the right place. It's an invitation for you to find that passion, to use the passion that you maybe have all the time and just use it to fuel you. Like, make that your fuel for the next year, to bring you and propel you like forward. And it's an invitation to just choose yourself, to push out any of the noise you're feeling, be very unapologetic about who you are. Why would you not want to invite that theme into your life? Like, that's all this is about. So that's kind of what I want to close with. I'm teaching a yoga class on this later today, and I have a little practice we're going to do. And in the class, I'm going to have them like put their hands on their heart and take a few breaths, and then just say, this year I commit to X, whatever it is. And you don't even have to think about it. Close your eyes for a second, maybe, unless you're driving. Don't do that. Close your eyes and whatever comes up. This year I commit to, and just fill in the blank. Try to find one tiny action to back it up that you can play around with in your week, in your day, months, whatever it is, you know? Like I said at the beginning of the episode, if there's ever a time to stop overthinking and start moving, it's now, okay? Trust that whatever you're being called to is calling you for a reason. You're fully capable of getting there. You just have to begin. You just got to take your steps. And that is where we have to close it out, because even though I have that practice for the yoga class, I don't have the class written. So I have to get working on that. We're going to move on from this. Before you tap out of this, if this episode resonated with you, give it 5 stars. It really helps the podcast grow. It gives it to other people. When you rate it high, it sends it to other people and they'll be able to see it more. The visibility will go up, and it's kind of like you passing on the good vibes that you took in and giving it to somebody else. So we appreciate that greatly here. I don't know why I said we. It's literally just me doing everything. We have merch. The merch will be linked below. We got sweaters, we got hoodies, we don't have t-shirts. We have tote bags though. I'm coming out with stickers and like little mugs later this year, so those are becoming. If you want a free meditation, I have a free intention setting meditation that can actually really help you with this theme. If you feel fired up and you want to lock in or have some time for yourself in the morning or the evening to reflect, like we were talking about, the link is below. It's a free meditation. You can take that. We're also getting ready to launch the Glow and Flow Hub, which is going to be an online community. You can log in whenever you want. It'll be an app on your phone, and you can access tons of meditations. You're going to be able to look through the meditations and choose, I'm in a rush. I want to do one for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. You can choose it by time. You can filter it by topic. There'll be full yoga classes. I'm going to have workouts, Pilates classes. There'll be sound baths. Basically anything that I can offer is going to be on this app. I'm also testing out 2 different things right now, doing a monthly book club on there as well as a monthly workout split, because I'm also a personal trainer and a women's coaching specialist. So I want to have an option that it could just be your go-to. If you log on and you want to work out, you'll be able to access a weighted workout split that has progressive overload in it for you that you could pay a trainer to do, and it'll be there in your app. But if you're logging in and you just want a simple stretch, you're going to have different yoga classes to help you with your period cramps or help you in the evening or maybe energize you in the morning for 10 minutes. And maybe you don't want to move at all and you want to lay there. I have a bunch of like Reiki infused meditations, hypnosis, 5-minute gratitude rituals, sound baths, like everything is going to be on there for you. So that is getting ready to launch. As you can imagine, with how much stuff is in it, it's taking me a long time to get everything going, and that's okay. So you can join the email list below to get notified when it drops. It's going to be very affordable because I want it to be something that you can access, and that's like the whole business model of it. But also the first people, when I do launch it, I'm going to send it out via email, and there'll be a bigger discount on that as well. So stay tuned. If you want to stay in the loop with everything with the Happy Hippie podcast, sign up below. You can get your free meditation as well. It's so nice to just like spread this information. It really fired me up. I hope it resonates with you. Leave a comment. We have comments on Spotify now too, or wherever you're listening to. Let me know what you're working towards. Inspire somebody. Like, it's almost like you committing by writing down your comment. This year I commit to what? Like, leave it below, and then that can inspire somebody else too. So everything just ripples. And if you want to give back and you want to set yourself right, definitely leave a comment below too. Yeah, you can follow the podcast on Instagram, the Happy Hippie Podcast. My Instagram is also the Happy Holistic Hippie if you want to reach out. I also am posting some content for this topic today too, so check it out. But yeah, enjoy your day. I hope you're feeling fired up, and we will chat soon.